Can the worst possible Cloyster beat the entire game of Pokemon Yellow on 0 DVs, minimum battles, and with no TMs? Longtime viewers of the channel will already know we've done the 0 DVs minimum battles run with Cloyster before, but in that one we were using a pretty broken strategy, Clamp with Toxic. Toxic is now listed as a broken TM in my rule set, so it's going to be banned in this one. That means the only level up move we're going to get is Spike Cannon at level 50. And the rest of the time we're going to have to rely on Clamp, Aurora Beam, Withdraw, and Supersonic to get through this one. Is this going to be enough? Will it be on the same tier as a Pokemon like Slowbro? Will it be as bad as Lapras? There's only one way to find out. Let's get into it. First things first, Professor Oak uses a Master Ball to catch our Cloyster, and now we can get started.
So let's get into the Rival 1 fight and see how it goes. We'll just save a couple times just to be sure. And here, I'm going Clamp. And we can see Clamp is just completely OP. Completely OP. Now,
the entire early game is super easy. We've already done the 0 DVs minimum battles run with Cloyster before, so I know the strategies in this section already.
In fact, Clamp is 4 times super effective, so it's going to be the stronger move every time, but here, let's just use a Clamp. Oh, Geodude goes down, and yeah, let's just try Aurora Beam for the sake of it. Boom. Easy. Brock is so easy.
Thanks to its higher base speed, Cloyster actually crushes the early game much more than Slowbro or Lapras did, because it's fast enough to outspeed this Ekans. And that means no lucky KOs from Rap. That means we can just get into the Super Nerd fight. Let's go.
Here, let's get into the Super Nerd. Super Nerd time. Clamp misses, and now it's disabled. No! Okay, so we're just gonna use Aurora Beam because Clamp got disabled. Aurora Beam is perfectly fine for this section of the game, and we get poisoned. No. Okay, we get through that fight. Let's use an antidote and a potion. This is why I always pick up the antidote in Viridian Forest, even though there are no Weedles in Pokemon Yellow version. And now let's take on Jesse and James. So here, I'm going Clamp. And once we get Pokemon kind of in the range to one-shot, I'm going to Clamp them into the range, and then I'm going to use Aurora Beam to finish them off. Because Aurora Beam is 100% accurate. So anytime that we can get the KO with Aurora Beam, we might be just saving ourselves a hit. Candy, and I think I'm going to take on Rival 2. Because Spearo's weak to Aurora Beam. Sandshrew should be fine with Clamp. Okay, so Spearo's a 2-hitter. Aurora Beam one-shots there against the Sandshrew. We haven't taken any sand attacks though. Their Clamp missed and missed, no. And we're actually outsped by Eevee, but we do take it down. Perfect. Nice.
So with Rival 2 going down, we can start making our way to Bill's house, and on Nugget Bridge, nothing is really that difficult. Yes, these Nidorans and the Mankey are going to have super effective moves because we're a water type, we're weak to fighting, so double kick and low kick are a little bit scary. We're fast enough and strong enough that we can get through these fights very easily. Clamp does so much damage in this section of the game. It's a 35 base power up to 5 hit move, and it's the same type attack. So we're just crushing everything on the way here. And we're going to outspeed the last, so we can just use one Aurora Beam to knock out her Oddish. The scariest opponent is actually the Innocent Bystander, because his Drowsy could do really good damage, but it turns out not to matter. So now, let's take on the Junior Trainer in Misty's gym. It's a grind because we only have Water and Ice type moves, but it doesn't really matter. We can knock her out, and it's time to get to Misty.
Okay, so Misty time. Here's my game plan. I'm going to try to confuse her Pokemon. I'm going to try to set up some withdrawals so that Tackle does basically nothing. And then I'm going to go into Clamp. And there we go. Took it down. Now let's also confuse the Starmie. And we don't care about Harden because Clamp is a special type move. So really, we just want to keep it confused so that when we miss with Clamp, maybe it has a chance to hit itself. And the rest of the time, we're just trying to whittle it down. but we're out of clamps. Okay, we're going Aurora Beam. Nice. We got Misty down. No resets at this point in the game. We're doing just fine.
So with Misty down, we have two very easy trainers, and next up is Rival 3.
Okay, Rival 3 time. Let's make sure I heal. I always forget to heal here. Okay, Rival 3. I'm going Aurora Beam on the Spearow. I think Clamp for the Rattata. Aurora Beam on the Sandshrew because it's a one-shot. And now let's do some Clamp here. And again, the reason why we wouldn't go Clamp on the Sandshrew is because it could use Sand Attack, and Aurora Beam's 100% accurate, whereas Clamp is 75%. We don't want to take that incidental Sand Attack. So let's take on the Wrapping last here, where the game plan's pretty simple. Aurora Beam. That's a one-shot. That's a one-shot. Oh, one-hitter. Oh, she's no trouble, because unlike Lapras, we're not using Water Gun.
Cloyster just has an answer for everything in this section of the game. Clamp allows us to take down the Slowpokes without much difficulty. It's tedious, it takes a long time, but they're never going to be able to knock us out as long as we don't get really bad accuracy luck with Clamp. And really, there's nothing else that's too scary down here. Even the Grass-type trainers, we can just use Aurora Beam. So let's get on to the Rock Tunnel Hiker. Let's see if he shows us anything differently.
Let's not do that. Let's just wreck this guy. 1 Aurora Beam. 2 Aurora Beams. 3 Aurora Beams. Ha ha ha. Got him. Rock Tunnel Hiker. Almost as bad as Bruno.
So with the Rock Tunnel Hiker going down, we take down the last junior trainer and we're out of Rock Tunnel. Now we could go and fight Rival 4 at this point, but it doesn't really make any sense. He's a little bit tough, and we have so much easy experience available in this section of the game. This is basically the last section of the game where we're actually going to out-level things, and these Rocket Grunts go down very easily. We've got Aurora Beam to wreck these Zubats. Let's get to Jesse and James.
Go ahead and save, and let's try Jesse and James. Cool. So here, I'm going for Clamp. We missed the first time, second one hits, and now Aurora Beam to knock out the Coughing. Gonna go 2 Aurora Beams to take out Meowth, and let's do a couple Clamps. There we go, 1 Clamp takes down the Ekans. Nice. Now, on to Giovanni. Here we don't mess around. Aurora Beam, 1 hitter. Aurora Beam, 1 hitter. And now, Clamp on the Persian is probably the best play. He uses a guard spec, but that's fine. We take him down with 2 Clamps. No problem. So, Rival 4 time. So here, I'm going Aurora Beam against the Fearow, and Aurora Beam's not too bad on us. Now Clamp on the Magneton easily goes down. We're definitely going to have to Clamp here on the Shelder. It's the only decent move we've got there. Aurora Beam on Sandshrew, and now let's go for the Clamps. Whoa, we get through that very, very easily. That was...
So with Rival 4 going down, we can move on to the Channelers, and the Ghastly aren't really that hard, because we outspeed them, and Clamp and Aurora Beam are just fine for knocking them out. We could get really bad luck with Confusion or maybe Paralysis. We'll have to keep that in mind for later in the game, but if we can ever outspeed Ghosts, we're not really going to have a problem. So let's get to the Ghost Marowak.
Okay, let's take on Ghost Marowak instead. Here, Aurora Beam is not quite a one-hitter. That's a little disappointing. Let's take on Jesse and James. And here, I think we go Clamp. And then Aurora Beam, nice. Let's Clamp on the Arbok and Aurora Beam, nice. And now we outspeed Weezing, so we can just really clamp it down. Cool, there we go. We're through. Saved Mr. Fuji. This is nice. So, let's take on Lieutenant Surge. Let's just see how this one goes. And, yeah. Hopefully, just don't use Thunderbolt. Please, Lieutenant Surge. Just I'm pleading with you right now. Don't use Thunderbolt. Anything but Thunderbolt. let's take this one down. Thunderbolt one-shots. As I said, if we get the Thunderbolt, that's our first reset of the run. Mega Punch, not so scary. And there's X Speed. Nice. So if he uses Thunderbolt, we lose. And if he uses anything else, we win.
So one reset on Lieutenant Surge, who's supposed to be one of the hardest gym leaders for Cloyster, has me feeling pretty good in this one. And we have a lot of things to look forward to. We already have decent speed, we can take down the beauty inside of Erica's gym, and we can even go down to Koga's gym and take out these Drowsy where, hey, the jugglers Drowsy don't outspeed. We're only outsped by Kadabra and Hypno. But if we can get through those fights, we've got decent experience, and maybe we could just take down Erica. Let's give it a shot.
Okay, let's just try Erica one time. So here, the game plan against Erica, we're going to use Clamp. We're going to try to get this Tangela into a range where it can be a one-hitter. And there we go, okay. So now Clamp misses and we get put to sleep. GG. That's our second reset of the run. Okay, let's try this again. We need to Clamp, and we need to get it, I think, to about half health to have a decent shot. Low health doesn't matter as long as the clamps hit. Okay, and it's clearly a two-hitter on with Aurora Beam. It's like 60% against Weepinbell. And Clamp misses. Come on, Clamp. Don't be Clamp. Okay, we're whittling this one down. There we go. That's a one-shot. Now Clamp. Critical hit. Nice. But we gotta get it a little bit lower. Now Aurora Beam should one-shot. And now let's Clamp the Gloom into a similar range. And now Aurora Beam, there we go. Okay, Erica goes down. Nice. Only 2 resets on Erica, that's not bad. That's really not bad. So now we should be in a speed tie with the last Venonat. So I'm gonna use 1 rare candy here. That will guarantee that we outspeed. And outspeeding is the name of the game in this one, I think. Because as long as we outspeed, we can just wreck this one, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we outspeed, we're going to go for Clamp. Clamp misses. But if we can get them into a low range, okay, that wasn't low enough. They need to be on like a 3rd health, it looks like. And Psychic does so much damage, no. Okay, that's our first reset. But, okay, we need to get them down to about 1/3 health from the looks of it, and Clamp misses, thanks. Okay, we woke up, nice, nice, nice. And X attack does not matter as long as we can land Clamp. Okay, Aurora Beam. Now let's get this one whittled down. Okay. And Aurora Beam, nice. Now Clamp. I think it's too much health, so I'm gonna go Clamp again. Now Aurora Beam. Now, let's go Clamp on the Venomoth, and I'm pretty sure that Psychic ends us. Yes. Okay.
Koga is the first huge wall in this run, because even though we outspeed the Venonats at this point, we don't have anything really great against the Venomoth other than to hope to just get it in a Clamp and have that Clamp last for a long time, and hopefully it doesn't use too many double teams and it doesn't hit us with Psychic, because Psychic completely wrecks in this one. Toxic is also a pretty big problem, and if we ever misclamp, the 1st and 3rd Venonats will use Sleep Powder. And that's probably GG right there. So this just comes down to luck. Can we get the luck to land all our clamps, get to the final Venomoth, and do enough damage to get through this fight? We're just going to have to keep resetting a few times to see if we can get it to work, but let's find out.
Gotta keep in mind that last Venonat is 4 levels higher than the first Venonat, so it probably needs to be even a little bit lower health before we can go Aurora Beam. Okay. clamp. Here I think Aurora Beam's fine. And let's clamp on him. If we get some nice long clamps. Okay, he's used double team once. But, okay, he used double team again, you jerk. Oh, we're so close to knocking him out. There we go, there we go, there we go. He used Toxic. He didn't use Psychic. That's all that matters. We get through that one. Okay. And now we're fast enough to outspeed Rival 5's team. This is dope.
So with Koga going down, we get a badge boost in speed. And with Withdraw, we'll be able to outspeed everything. But is it enough to win?
So let's just save and try this. I'm going to try to take down this Sand Slash as quickly as possible. I think Clamp is the play, but Aurora Beam, yeah, it's a 2-hit with Aurora Beam. Now, Clamp, I don't think there's any point in setting up withdrawals on this one. Okay, now we need to Clamp on Magneton. We do outspeed. And keep in mind, we don't have any badge boosts in Special. So we get it down and we Aurora Beam it to finish it off. Now we're doing some clamps on the Kadabra. Nice, level up, and clamp on Flareon. Boom! First attempt victory! There we go, Lapras goes down! Haha! And, yeah, let's take on Jesse and James. Clamp here on Weezing is clearly the play. And now let's clamp on Arbok. We're outspeeding Arbok too, which is nice. And it's 2 Aurora Beams on Meowth, but not too bad. Not too bad. Not too worried about this one. So now let's take on Giovanni. Here, Nidorino does no double kick, which is why I think we have to go clamp. Now, Persian, I'm just going to clamp because it's kind of scary. I think, yeah, 1 clamp takes down Rhyhorn. And we're outspeeding Nidoqueen, but it uses double kick. And now Aurora Beam takes it down. There we go. Good, good, good.
So now we can make our way down to Cinnabar Island, and we should have a type advantage against Blaine as long as we can outspeed his Pokemon. Let's set up the badge boosts and try this.
So let's just try this. Game plan is to badge boost with Withdraw. That will also help reduce his physical attacks. And yeah, let's see how many. Okay, Flamethrower wrecks us. Flamethrower is neutrally effective here. That is something to keep in mind. We're probably going to need to get a good run where he just uses like Tail Whip and Quick Attack, because Flamethrower is just wrecking. Okay, so Tail Whip. Okay, he confused us with Confuse Ray, but we were also still able to get through. Okay, and now we're reaching the point where we should be outspeeding now. And Clamp is doing good damage, and Aurora Beam to finish it off. Nice, but okay, now we leveled up. So... and we get taken out. Okay, there's a simple solution for this. We need to use 1 rare candy here. By using this 1 rare candy, we are making it so that now we will not be outsped in this section. And that's pretty much the name of the game. Okay. Got wrecked there. Let's try this again. So, okay. If he keeps getting critical hit flamethrowers, we're just gonna get destroyed. But, okay, Tail Whip, Tail Whip. And now we're outspeeding. It doesn't look like it because he used Quick Attack, but we were outspeeding there. Okay, we take that one down. Now we don't quite outspeed. Okay, he uses Growl though. Okay, so now we've got the badge boost. And critical hit, Clamp, nice. And now we just need the Clamp here. We're outspeeding. Okay, we missed. He used Reflect though. That's nice. And Aurora Beam finishes off. Nice! There we go! Blaine goes down. We're on 16 resets. Not too bad to get through Blaney boy. Let's see if 1 really good clamp will just take this one down. Okay, it missed with Flash. Now it hit with Flash. No, that's bad. Now we do have a badge boost in Special. So now against Kadabra, I'm going to start setting up Withdraw. Maybe we can even outspeed at some point. Psywave takes us down. Psywave does random damage between 1 and the user's level. So we could take up, or I think 1.5 times the user's level, if I recall correctly. Which means that we can easily be knocked out with Psywave. Okay, here I'm trying to set up badge boosts to outspeed. Now we outspeed, so now we can clamp. And Aurora Beam to finish that one off. And here we don't outspeed. Okay. Now we should outspeed. Psywave knocks us out. Okay.
Because we already beat Blaine, Sabrina is the only fight that we can take in this section of the game. And we keep getting to the Alakazam and finding that we can't hit it with anything, because we always get hit with Flash by the Abra. We're on 10 resets, before we know it 15 resets, and we're just not making any progress. Are we ever going to be able to win this fight? It's basically luck-based, but let's find out.
Hit. Come on, Clamp. Hit. There we go. Yes, yes! Okay, Clamp. Oh, we got Alakazam and Clamp. Oh, but it was only a 2-turn Clamp. No, and we got the special drop. And now he recovers. You jerk. You jerk. That just needs to be like a 3 or 4 hit Clamp, and I guarantee you we win this one. This is pain. This is actual pain. Trying to get all the badge boosts from this stupid little Abra. And then go for Aurora Beam. Okay, Clamp hits. Yes, yes! Okay, Clamp, come on. We still got 12 Clamps. Psywave did so much. Oh, there's Clamp. There's... Yes! Okay! There we go! I told you, we just have to land Clamp. We're on 39 resets. We're still way better than Lapras was.
With Sabrina going down, maybe our troubles are completely over. We should have a type advantage here against Giovanni. Sure, we're on 39 resets, but if we can outspeed, we should wreck everything, right?
We should be able to knock out Pokemon with Clamp as long as we can outspeed. So here, I think we have to go Withdraw against the Doug Trio. Basically, we need to get enough speed to outspeed everything. Okay, Aurora Beam. He used Double Team. Okay, but we got him in Clamp. Okay, we get knocked out in that one. We probably need to not get the sand attacks if we can avoid it. Withdraw makes sense though, because Earthquake, Dig... Okay, critical hit Dig is not gonna matter if we get the withdrawals or not. And Fissure. Thanks. Thanks, Giovanni. He does outspeed, he can use Fissure in just one shot. That's what makes Yellow Giovanni so much harder than Red and Blue. And we just need to get the speed. If we outspeed everything and we don't have any accuracy drops, I think we win. Okay, we're still slower than Persian. Here, okay, Aurora Beam doesn't quite knock it out. Okay, there we go, and we leveled up. Which means we don't outspeed the Nidoqueen. So we get wrecked. Yeah. Okay, we need to use a rare candy here so that we don't level up in the middle of the fight. Then, once we don't level up in the middle of the fight, I think we have a shot. But not if we get hit with Fissure. So now the game plan is, like before, we're going to set up Withdraw here against the Doug Trio. Okay. And now let's Aurora Beam. We've taken some sand attacks is the problem. Okay, but now we outspeed Nidoqueen, but it uses Double Kick. Okay. So let's try this again. Let's try this again, boys. Okay, Withdraw, Withdraw, Withdraw. I like him digging. Yeah, just dig, Doug Trio. Okay, now Aurora Beam's a one-shot. Clamp, we outspeed and Aurora Beam. Now Clamp is going to pretty much finish that. Clamp and Aurora Beam, nice. We leveled up here, but we should already outspeed the Rhydon. Yes, Clamp does it. There we go. Okay, 45 resets. Not terrible. Not great. We're not going to beat Weepinbell. But keep in mind, Weepinbell had Sleep to go with Badge Boost. And it had a pretty good Sleep move and Sleep Powder. So, yeah. Alright, so now let's try Rival 6. Now, Lapras just went Ice Beam on the first two Pokemon. I don't think Aurora Beam will one-shot, though. So, I think instead... Let's see. We do outspeed. So, I'm going to go for some withdrawals right here. And then Aurora Beam's still not a one-hitter. And Aurora Beam's not a one-hitter there. So, we'd have to go for 3 withdrawals. 2, 3 withdrawals, okay. Now I'm gonna Clamp here, okay. Now Aurora Beam one-shots, and we level up, okay. So we leveled up here on the Cloyster. We definitely want to set up our withdrawals here. Now we've got pretty decent speed. Clamp is missing though. Aurora Beam? Okay, there we go. Now we need to Clamp on the Magneton. And now it's in the range. Aurora Beam and Kadabra still outspeeds, that's fine. And Psychic takes us down though. Okay, so the game plan might actually be to not Badge Boost until we get to Cloyster. So just Clamp here. Now if we can Clamp, execute into a range to knock it out with Aurora Beam. Okay, used Solar Beam, which is fine. Now we should be able to one-shot. There we go. Now let's set up all of the Badge Boosts here. Okay, a couple of Supersonic misses is nice. We're no longer confused. That's also nice. Now we should outspeed everything, I think. And now Clamp's doing much better damage. Okay, Clamp on the Magneton. Let's just be safe. Let's get in the range. Cool. Now we should be outspeeding. Yes. There we go. And Aurora Beam. And finally, Clamp for the Flareon. No problem. 47 resets. Not too bad. Feeling okay about this. I'm not feeling too bad. Up against Lorelei. Let's try this one. So first attempt, I'm going to try to confuse this Dugong. I'm going to now set up all my withdrawals. We want all the special and speed boosts, basically. Okay, so now let's Clamp. Clamp's not doing a lot, but as long as we keep it in Clamp, it shouldn't be able to attack or rest. And there we go, okay. Now I think we just Clamp here on the Cloyster. Okay, we've been confused, which is bad. Spike Cannon still does decent-ish damage. Okay, we take that one down. Now Slowbro, I think we definitely have to Clamp because it could use Amnesia. Yeah. Oh, Amnesia's bad, and Psychic wrecks us. Okay. So let's Rare Candy up here. I think this is the way to go. If we get to level 50 and we get Spike Cannon over Supersonic, then our Badge Boost might actually mean something. Because Spike Cannon will be neutrally effective. So let's just try this now. Okay. So here I'm just going to use Aurora Beam. I'm going to try to get it to go to sleep. Now I can start setting up withdrawal. Okay, now Spike Cannon didn't do that much. Not as much as I was hoping that it would do. Okay, but we do take it down. Now we should be able to clamp. We're not confused, that is. Okay, here we go. We snapped out of confusion. Clamp is doing a lot more damage here. Okay, now clamp on Slowbro. Okay, take it down. We're gonna Spike Cannon here on Jinx. We get put to sleep by Lovely Kiss, though. We do wake up, okay. Now clamp on Lapras. Just stay in clamp. Okay. She can use super potions, that's fine as long as the clamps don't miss. Okay, it's kind of low health. Do we gamble on clamp here? Or do we try Spike Cannon? I'm gonna go clamp. Now Spike Cannon. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. We've taken down Lorelei. We're only 49 resets. This isn't too bad. Let's see how it goes now against Bruno. Let's go Withdraw first. I'm just going to spam all the badge boosts with Withdraw. I want to outspeed everything. Then Clamp should allow me to wreck. Aurora Beam there. Clamp is perfectly fine on Hitmonchan. Fine on Hitmonlee. Aurora Beam for Onyx. And now Clamp misses. Okay. Get the Clamp. Come on. And Aurora Beam. There we go. Bruno goes down. He has now been downgraded to Rival Sub 1. Rival 0. His Pokemon deserve to be less than level 5. Okay, let's take on Agatha. Agatha is going to be hard, I think. Because the first Gengar knows a Mega Drain. And Mega Drain might just wreck us. But if we can get the badge boosts and outspeed, then we should be able to take down her entire team with Clamp. So I'm going, yeah, Mega Drain does quite a bit. Lick is also bad. I think we just Aurora Beam on the Golbat and we leveled up. Okay, that's the problem. And we get paralyzed. Paralysis might be okay. It stops us from being put to sleep, but man, that Mega Drain's doing way too much damage and we're paralyzed. No, okay. This is probably the worst battle of the game for our Cloyster because we just can't take that. We just can't take the paralysis. And the only way that we could really avoid it would be substitute or mimic, to mimic substitute from this Gengar. Now we outspeed, okay. Because we set up 3 badge boosts. Now, okay, she's getting down in her health. She's using her super potions. Aurora Beam, okay. So now, and we take Toxic, okay. But maybe if we get all the badge boosted, we'll be fine. Maybe we can sweep. No. No. No, we can't. We can't sweep. So just to repeat, the reason why I care about being paralyzed, the reason why that's a reset is because of the strategy. The best strategy here is to get the badge boosts so that we outspeed and then use Clamp to wreck everything. So she switched to Haunter and that kind of helped in that one. Now Aurora Beam should one-shot. Nice. Now Clamp, she switches to Arbok, okay. We get a Screech, that's fine. Now Clamp, she's using a super potion. Okay, Clamp again, that takes that one down. Now we outspeed, so as long as we... Okay, super potion. Super potion. But we hit, there we go. Okay, Agatha goes down. We're on 68 resets. That's fine. We're to our last rare candy. So that's why I wasn't using the rare candy. We only have one left. I want to use it before the champion to prevent level ups because we're going to have to badge boost there. Okay, so let's get into the Lance fight. The ideal is to badge boost and be able to KO. But we're only 1,000 XP from a level up. Okay. Well, let's try this. So, first things first. Let's go for some clamp or some withdrawals here. Okay, we just get wrecked. Okay, Hyper Beam does a lot of damage. It only takes a couple of withdrawals to outspeed Gyarados, though. We're already on 101 speed. Okay. Now let's just try Clamp here. Let's just see. So Clamp's not doing a lot. Hyper Beam's also not doing a lot. And Aurora Beam wasn't quite enough to knock it out. Okay. Okay. Let's get our withdrawals set up. Lear's also kind of fine here. And now let's go for Clamp. And he uses a Hyper Potion. That's fine. This is really the only Pokemon I think we want to Clamp on. And there we go. We leveled up, okay. But one Aurora Beam takes out the first Dragonair. It's not quite a one-hitter on the second Dragonair. Okay. It's a two-hitter on Aerodactyl. And we're outsped and hit by a Fire Blast there. So we definitely need to set up badge boosts after this Gyarados. So I'm just going to set up one so that we outspeed and we can go into Clamp. Again, this is really the only Pokemon that we want to Clamp on. Okay, we take that one down. We've leveled up. Now this Dragonair knows Thunderbolt and Thunder Wave, so Clamp it. Let's get it in a range, and there we go. Now let's Clamp here. Get this one in a range, and now knock that out. Now I think we go for the withdrawals. Because Aerodactyl only uses physical moves, so a non-critical hit is fine. Okay, a critical hit. Oh, and I misclicked. No! No! I didn't need to use that extra withdrawal there, and we would have outsped. Okay, so one withdraw here to outspeed. Now we just need to get it into a range where we can knock it out. Oh, it wasn't quite close enough. No! Okay, that's fine. Just Clamp, don't miss. Okay. And it's just not quite there. Okay, that's fine. So now we can go Clamp and next Aurora Beam. Oh, I misclicked and used withdraw here, but that's fine. Aurora Beam finishes that one off. Here, let's Clamp this one into a range. And Aurora Beam, perfect. Now withdraw, 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 and critical hit fly. Okay, we weren't fast enough. Okay. One withdraw. Hyper Beam sucks. What is this? What is this no recharge Hyper Beams going on here? That is glitched out if I've ever seen it. What is this? The no recharge Hyper Beams. We've got some glitches going on here, folks. And Aurora Beam doesn't knock it out. Yeah, there's something strange going on with this game. But, okay, let's whittle it in range, knock it out, perfect. Now we just need to whittle this one down and get it about half health, and I think Aurora Beam's fine. Now let's withdraw. Hyper Beam missed, Hyper Beam hit. Okay, this one recharged. Okay. Now we've got all of the badge boosts set up. Okay. Now we outspeed, that's a one-shot. And we outspeed, and that's a one-shot. There we go. I'm not sure what was going on with those Hyper Beams not needing to recharge, though. Okay, we're on to 77 resets. We're going to use our last rare candy. Let's heal up. Max Elixir so that we have all the PP. Let's try to take on the champion. Okay. This is kind of for all the marbles here, so... strategy, we're going to try to set up, I think, on the Sandshrew, or sorry, the Sandslash. Hopefully we don't level up. We shouldn't level up until the Flareon, because we're at the same level as last time with, whatchamacall? Lapras. Oh, critical hit slash sucks, though. Okay, Aurora Beam one-shots. We outspeed Alakazam, that's nice. So we clamp it down. Now Aurora Beam is not a one-hitter. And we've taken Leech Seed. That's probably GG on this one. Okay, we do take down Magneton though. Okay. So the strategy, I think, is pretty clear. We just need to clamp the Exeggutor into a range where we can knock it out. Okay, there we go. And clamp on the Flareon. And Aurora Beam. Oh no, it got us in Fire Spin. No, it didn't knock it out. It was so close. Okay, but we got it that time. We level up, which is fine. Clamp. Oh, and Clamp missed. No, no, no. That's another shot at the Flareon. We're on 90 resets. Okay, Earthquake, Earthquake, Fury Swipes, Poison Sting, Poison Sting, Poison Sting. Okay, that's fine. Now, Clamp. Come on, we got this. Okay, Aurora Beam. Now we need Clamp to just get it in the range. Get this Exeggutor in a range to be knocked out by Aurora Beam. There we go. Clamp, don't miss. Don't miss. Okay. Okay, we've got Magneton, good. Now Clamp, we still got decent HP. And, okay, we take Cloyster down. Now Clamp, come on. Clamp, don't miss. Oh my god, we got it. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, 90 resets. Cloyster beats the entire game, start to finish, 90 resets total. We took down the entire game. So, is Cloyster better than Lapras? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It is miles ahead of Lapras.
So in the end, it took 90 resets to be able to beat the entire game on 0 DVs, minimum battles, and with no TMs with a Cloyster. How does that put it on the tier list? Well, it's miles ahead of Lapras on these same settings, basically 300 fewer resets. But it's worse than Slowbro. Slowbro had 2 boosting moves, Amnesia and Withdraw, and the Amnesia was a really big factor. Basically, I would be willing to bet that any Pokemon that gets a strong, special boosting move like Amnesia or Growth is probably going to place higher on the tier list than basically anything else. But it is in the S tier. Cloyster has completed this challenge and completed it pretty darn well. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. In fact, I think we can optimize some things. We could have added some TMs to help with Sabrina, maybe done something to help with Koga. We might have been able to make Agatha a little more consistent. And the champion, I mean, that one kind of came down to luck, but maybe a move like Ice Beam or Blizzard could help. Let's get into it and find out if we can optimize this run. Let's try it one more time. So first things first, we wreck Brock. He's super easy. So the first optimization we actually make is to take one optional battle against this gentleman in the SSN. And the reason we take this optional battle is to get an extra rare candy. We saw against Agatha that if we had just one more rare candy, we could have leveled up and probably made that fight a lot more consistent. So we take down his 2 fire-type Pokemon, and now it's on to Misty, where Misty's really not any trouble at all. It's a grind, but we just use the same strategy. Clamp and withdraw and some Supersonics whenever she snaps out of confusion. Eventually, we're going to knock her out. And we're getting through this whole section again with no resets. It's just that easy. Next up, we're going to optimize in Celadon by getting the Ice Beam TM. Ice Beam is 30 base power stronger than Aurora Beam and has a chance to freeze, so it could help us in some really tough fights. There were so many cases where we were so close to knocking out a Pokemon just to find that Aurora Beam wasn't quite strong enough. Now in this one we do get a reset here against the Ghastly in the Pokemon Tower. We just got really bad confusion luck and then a Nightshade and it knocked us out. Our second reset comes in Koga's gym against the second Juggler, where the Hypno poisoned us and managed to wreck us. But we got revenge on the very next attempt and we knocked it out. So next up is Erica. Now with Erica, it's always going to come down to Clamp luck, and we miss Clamp on the first 2 attempts and we end up getting knocked out by the Weepinbell and the Tangela. But just like last time, it's just a matter of finding a run where we land the clamps, get our Pokemon in a range, and then knock them out with Ice Beam. So here on the 3rd attempt, we just clamp this Tangela down. We're trying to get it to about half health, and then Ice Beam finishes it off. We're just going to do the same thing here against the Weepinbell, and once we get it just kind of in that 50% range, we'll knock it out. Finally, with the last Gloom, we get a critical hit clamp. That's awesome, and we finish the job. Nice. So now it's time for Koga's gym, where again we use 1 rare candy to outspeed the Venonats, and we keep getting to the Venomoth, just to find that we can't quite get through. We get Toxic in this one. If it uses Psychic, we get completely wrecked. We basically just need a run where we either get a freeze or a run where we manage to get it in some really long clamps and eventually knock it out. Last time we finished this section with 11 resets. We're at 13 resets right now, but we're finally getting the clamps to land on the Venonats. We knocked the last one out. Here, I'm just going for Ice Beam because Ice Beam is pretty much close to getting 3 hits with clamp, and it uses double team. That's perfectly fine. We just need to land the clamp, and there we go. So 13 resets to get through Koga, not terrible. We can move on to Rival 5. Rival 5 is pretty much the same strategy. We're just going to take the Sandslash down, now set up, we spam all of the withdraws in order to get all the badge boosts in speed. Now you might be saying, why do you care so much about speed? The Cloyster, you already outspeed it. You're going to outspeed Magneton. You're going to outspeed Flareon. This is all about the Kadabra, because the Kadabra can do things like use a critical hit Psybeam that just ends this fight, and we don't really have any other solution than to outspeed it and use Clamp. So we're going to use Clamp here on the Cloyster first to whittle it down. We want to make sure that we finish it without being confused. Fortunately we do here, so now we just need Clamp to hit on Magneton. We whittle it down. Now we can use Ice Beam to finish that one off. We outspeed the Kadabra. There's a big Psybeam, but we get it in a range and we knock it out. Now can Clamp hit the Flareon? Yes, it does, and we take it down. Nice. So now it's time for our next strategy, which is here against Sabrina. We had tons of resets here, like over 20 resets. All I've done is added Swift. Here's the strategy. We allow this Abra to use all the flashes that it wants, and we set up all of our withdraws, meaning we end up with 12 badge boosts on our attack. Now Swift should do tons of damage, and it doesn't matter that we've been hit with Flash a bunch of times because it never misses. The problem is that we level up after the Abra, so we lost all our badge boosts. But Kadabra goes down, and now we just need decent luck against Alakazam. We get a critical hit. It's used Reflect, but it doesn't recover, and we get through the fight on the first attempt. We've got 13 resets as we go to Blaine. Now on Blaine, this is always going to come down to whether or not he uses critical hit flamethrowers, if we get really bad confusion luck, but in this one, he's just using Tail Whip, which is perfect. Please use Tail Whip every time, Blaine. That gives us the badge boost that we need to outspeed, so now we're on to the Rapidash, where we're just going to use Clamp. It misses once, so we take a Fire Spin, that's okay. We just need to whittle this one down. We get it in a range and Ice Beam it down. Now on to the Arcanine. We miss with Clamp and take a Fire Blast. In the next attempt, we just have kind of bad luck. We're trying to set up Withdraw, but Ninetales just uses Flamethrower twice. That's too bad. Let's try another attempt. In this one, we get a Flamethrower turn 1, but after that it goes into Tail Whip, and we're setting up our withdraws, and as long as we get enough speed to outspeed, we're always going to have a chance here. I just want to make sure I outspeed the Arcanine as well. So here, I'm just going to use Clamp, and it's just about not getting a miss. So we get a quick attack, but we've already got high defense, so that's fine. We outspeed the Rapidash, so we're just going to Clamp it down, and now, can we get Arcanine? We get a critical hit Clamp, but it's only 2 hits. We land another one, we missed, he used Reflect, and that gave us the chance to finish him off. So there we go, only 15 resets, and we're on to Giovanni. Now, we can see that we're just about to level up, so I use a rare candy right here to make sure I don't level up in this fight. I just need to set up badge boosts, and maybe I have a chance. So the strategy is I'm going to use some withdrawals here on the Dugtrio and hope not to get hit by Fissure. Instead, we get hit by Sand Attack, and it even Sand Attacks us again, but we managed to get all of our setup off, and can we hit with Ice Beam? That's 1 down. It's a 2-hit KO on Persian. We hit Nidoqueen. We have a miss on Nidoking, but it uses Double Kick, and we've got such high defense. We managed to take it down, and we land on Rhydon. That is a first attempt victory on Giovanni. Only 15 resets, and we're on to Rival 6. Now here the strategy is simple. We're going to knock out this Sandslash as quickly as possible. Ice Beam is much stronger than Aurora Beam, so it's a one-shot on the execute. Now we're going to set up all of our withdraws again on this Cloyster. We've just leveled up, so we know that we can set up all of our badge boosts and we're not going to lose them for this entire fight. So once we get all of the badge boosts set up, we're going to go into Clamp, and again, we just want to make sure that we finish this Cloyster without being confused. We get to the Magneton and we're not confused, so we're able to use Clamp. I'm not sure if it's quite in range for Ice Beam here, so I go for Clamp again. It works out. Now we can outspeed Kadabra, and we're going to Clamp it down. Finally, it's Clamp on the Flareon. Clamp is the MVP. We're all the way to the Elite Four now. So with the Elite Four, we're going to use pretty much the same strategy. I'm going to use my rare candies right here to get to level 50. I know at level 50 I can beat Lorelei. I debated a little bit whether or not I should learn Spike Cannon though. Swift is guaranteed to hit, and it's 60 base power. Spike Cannon is 20 base power, but hits between 2 and 5 times. My understanding is that there are equal odds of getting a 2-hit Spike Cannon or a 5-hit Spike Cannon, so that really means that there's a 3 in 4 chance that Spike Cannon will at least be as strong as Swift. So I decided to go with Spike Cannon. Let's see how this fight goes. So the strategy in this one is pretty simple. What we want to do is first hit the Dugong 1 time with something like Spike Cannon. We're hoping that it will use Rest. Now when it rests, we can just start setting up our withdraws, and Lorelei's AI, she's going to use Rest even when she's at full health, so it just does nothing. And now we can clamp this Dugong down into a range. Once we get it into a range where it looks like it's probably going to be a KO, I'm just going to switch to Spike Cannon and knock it out. Now, against the Cloyster, we outspeed. So let's use Clamp. Let's try to just get this one whittled down. And it's close enough, we use Spike Cannon to finish that one off. Now, Slowbro is the only Pokemon that is only 1 times resistant to Ice Beam. So I decided to go for Ice Beam here. We get a couple lucky crits, which was good because it was using Amnesia. Now on the Jinx, I decided to go for 1 Clamp, and then after I clamp it, I use Spike Cannon to finish it off. And now we have 3 clamps left for the Lapras. Let's just try to get it down into the range where we can knock it out. Here we use our last clamp. Looking pretty close. I go Spike Cannon. That's a first attempt victory against Lorelei. So now we can just heal up. We have to make sure we're using full restores and elixirs, and we can get on to Bruno. Bruno can be kind of scary. He has fighting type Pokemon and rock type Pokemon that could have some super effective moves against Cloyster. So we're going to start off by setting up all of our withdrawals. That Rock Slide didn't do too much, thankfully, and once we get all of our withdrawals set up, we should outspeed. And in this one, Ice Beam is much stronger than Aurora Beam, so I decided to just Ice Beam down all of his Pokemon. It's a one-hit KO on everything except Machamp, but he hits with submission and knocks himself out. That is the most brutal way to lose a fight that I think I've ever seen. I love how he says, like, I can't believe I lost. And then he's like, I've done my job. You can move on now. So yeah, thanks, Bruno. This guy is an absolute legend. So now we're going to heal up. And now is where that rare candy that we got in the SSN actually comes into play. You see, normally we would have only 1 rare candy left here, and we'd want to save it for just before the champion to prevent a level up in that battle. But here we can use our rare candy before Agatha. That means we'll no longer level up after this Gengar. So here we can just start setting up badge boosts, and we need 3 badge boosts to outspeed the Gengar. So I set up 3 withdrawals, and now I'm going to go into Clamp. It misses once. We managed to land the second one though, but she switches to Golbat, so I use a Ice Beam and knock it out. Now back to Clamp on the Gengar. I want to avoid damage as much as possible. I'm going to Clamp here on the Haunter as well. And if I can get it in a range, I'm just going to knock it out with Ice Beam. There we go. Now the Arbok. We outspeed, 1 Clamp, 1 Ice Beam. But we don't outspeed the last Gengar. Now I could have set up another withdrawal here. Instead, I took that massive Psychic. I was thinking I just have to go in and attack. We get confused again, but thanks to our good defense, we don't knock ourselves out. She uses a couple of super potions, but we finally land the hit, and there we go. That's a first attempt victory on Agatha. We're still on 15 resets, and we're moving on to Lance. Now, we already know based on experience that we're going to level up in this fight, but if we can get all of our badge boosts set up, we should be fine, I think. Basically, what we want to do is get 1 badge boost on the Gyarados with withdrawal. That will allow us to outspeed it. Then we can Clamp it or Ice Beam it down. Then we want to one-shot the first Dragonair with Ice Beam. The second Dragonair is where we actually want to do our setup. So we take a Hyper Beam, that's fine. I'm just going to use a couple of withdrawals here. Now I'm going into Clamp, and I'm just going to try to clamp this one down into a range so that I can knock it out. Here, it's looking like it's probably getting pretty close to a range. We miss a couple clamps. We take another Hyper Beam, but now Ice Beam finishes the job. We've leveled up. We knock out the first Dragonair. Now we're going to use Withdrawal. This one uses a Hyper Beam and is using Wrap, but it's not doing a lot of damage. And with the Withdrawal setup, we knock it out. Now we're still outsped by Aerodactyl, but we managed to knock it out too, and it's a 1-hit on Dragonite. We're to the champion on only 15 resets. So now champion time. We just have to use our last rare candy. We want to make sure that we don't level up in the middle of the fight. We're going to level up just before Flareon. But that's okay, we already outspeed the Flareon. We have over 100 speed, the Flareon has 99 speed. So, as long as we outspeed it, we should be able to use Clamp to knock it out. But that's a little bit easier said than done, because we have to decide where to set up our badge boosts. And the only real solution is Sandslash. But Sandslash gets a lot of critical hits, with Slash, with Earthquake, and we're here resetting over and over again. We're now on 25 resets. And on this one, we are going to go ahead and set up our withdrawals. We're just hoping to not get poisoned and not get some crazy critical hits. If we can get through with decent health, we're fine. We one-shot the Sandslash. Now we're outspeeding Alakazam, so we can just lock it in Clamp and knock it out. Now we have to land Clamp on Exeggutor because it's not a guaranteed one-hit KO with Ice Beam. And if we take Leech Seed, that's basically GG. We take down Magneton, and now we're clamping down the Cloyster. And this is where we have to keep in mind, if we get really close to a range, maybe we just use Ice Beam to knock the opponent out. Doesn't quite work there. But here on the Flareon, we land Clamp, it's on really low health, I go for Ice Beam, and it survives. With a sliver of health, it survives, and we get knocked out. That was at 25 resets. So let's try this again. We're on 26 resets now. I'm going to do the same strategy. We just have to get all of our badge boosts set up. We take a huge slash, but now we should be roughly outspeeding. Okay, Poison Sting and a miss with Fury Swipes, that's great. Now let's clamp down this Alakazam, and we have to get the clamp on the Exeggutor. Now Ice Beam knocks it out. We land Clamp here on Magneton, get it in the range. Now we can take down the Cloyster. We just need Clamp to hit, but this is really the safest Pokemon. We're back to Flareon. Let's Clamp, and we're gonna Clamp again. We missed. It got us in Fire Spin. We're on 9 HP, but we land Clamp, and an Ice Beam finishes the job. So there we go. By adding only 2 TMs and 1 optional battle, we went from 90 resets to 26 resets. And that shows that Cloyster is really a pretty amazing Pokemon, and it really doesn't need that much to be quite good. It can wreck the entire game without needing much of anything. When you compare that to a Pokemon like even Venomoth that needed 6 optional battles and a TM, well, I would take this over that. And when you compare it to something like Lapras that needed 35 optional battles and about the same number of TMs, well then it's clearly much better. So now Cloyster lands dead in the center of the S tier. It's got a score of 95.15, which puts it just a little ahead of Slowbro. We haven't done the optimizing run of Slowbro yet, but it's still a solid Pokemon. It belongs way up there in the S tier. Not as good as Gengar, not as good as Weepinbell, but definitely better than a Pokemon like Venomoth, definitely better than a Pokemon like Lapras. But one question remains. Can it beat Mewtwo?
But let's just see. Save behind him, just in case. Psychic is scary, but I'm going Withdraw. Here we go. Yeah, he's got 187 base, or 187 speed. We get taken out that time. That was a kind of slow Mewtwo. This time 189. Let's get all the withdrawals set up. We like Swift when we're using the badge boost. Okay, now we outspeed. So now I think we just go Clamp, and as long as Clamp doesn't miss too many times, Aurora Beam. There we go. Okay, we got through Mewtwo. There you have it, folks. 92 resets. Cloyster is a boss. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. I'm going to edit this one down for the main channel, and we're going to prove that there are a lot of water types that are much better than Lapras. But starting off with this one, next up I'm going to try a Slowbro. Slowbro also I think might beat Lapras. So there you have it, folks. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.
Later.